welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into something crucial for any growing business. Using social media to, well, really catch the eye of investors.
It's a big topic, and honestly, getting funding can feel like a massive hurdle for so many founders.
Totally. And, making your business actually stand out online is key. If you feel like your social profiles need a bit of a lift, especially when you're gearing up for that investor outreach, checking out a resource like rapidboost.net could be useful just to strengthen that foundation.
Good point. Because investors are looking.
Exactly. So our mission today is to really unpack why investors are spending so much time scrolling through feeds and how you, as a business owner, can use these platforms strategically, not just to get noticed, but hopefully to land that investment.
Yeah, we're going to get into what investors are actually looking for online and give you some, actionable steps you can take.
Okay, so let's start with this idea of due diligence. The old picture is like piles of spreadsheets, late-night meetings.
Right, the traditional stuff.
But that's not the whole story now, is it? What's changed?
Well, what's really fascinating is how the timeline itself has shifted. Investors, they're not waiting for the formal pitch anymore to start forming opinions.
Okay.
They're actively using social media almost like an early screening tool.
Yeah.
Think of it as getting a vibe check on a potential investment before they even commit to a call.
So they're looking at your company page, maybe your personal profile as a founder.
Absolutely. They're trying to get a quick sense of credibility, maybe see if there's any real momentum.
And there's data on this, right? I remember reading something, I think it was Harvard Business Review.
Exactly. That 2022 HBR study was quite revealing. It found that over 72%, 72% of early-stage investors use social media to qualify new deals.
Wow. Over 70%.
Yeah. And what that tells us is it's not just casual browsing, they're using it as a leading indicator. Often, they're forming those crucial first impressions well before they dive deep into the financials.
So this shift in the timeline is like super important for founders to grasp.
Definitely. They're using these channels to quickly gauge things like, are you relevant in your industry? Is your audience actually engaged? Is there any, real buzz around what you're doing?
Okay, so if you're basically invisible online, or your presence is, I don't know, weak, you could be getting screened out without even knowing it.
That's a real risk. It raises questions.
So what specific things are they hoping to see when they do look? What signals are they searching for?
They're looking for validation, essentially. Signs that there's real market demand. Are people talking about the problem you solve? Is there chatter?
Right, not just you talking about it.
Exactly. They're also trying to get a feel for the leadership team. Do you, the founder, seem adaptable, forward-thinking, visionary even?
Okay.
And then tangible signs of traction, things like press mentions, any partnerships you've announced, maybe some really positive customer testimonials. It all adds up.
And having a clear niche, knowing who you are.
Yes, a clear understanding of your niche and your value proposition has to come through. Plus, consistent communication and signs of a loyal audience. That suggests you've got staying power.
So being invisible is like a red flag, but an active, well-managed presence is, what, a green light?
Pretty much. It signals you're engaged, you understand the modern landscape. It's a big positive signal.
Okay, makes sense. Now, there are so many platforms out there. LinkedIn, X, Instagram, TikTok is huge now. Where should founders actually focus their energy? Because you can't be everywhere.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And you're right, spreading yourself too thin is usually counterproductive. It just dilutes your message.
So quality over quantity.
Absolutely. The smarter play is to figure out, okay, where are my ideal investors most likely hanging out online? And maybe just as important, where does my brand story actually shine the brightest? Then pick one or two channels and really nail them.
Right. Okay, let's talk specifics. LinkedIn feels like the obvious professional starting point. How do you use that strategically for VCs or angel investors?
LinkedIn is definitely the professional powerhouse. It's where VCs, angels, corporate scouts, they're actively looking for deals, making connections.
Your profile needs to be sharp.
Both your founder profile and your company page. Think of them as your digital storefront for investors. You need to optimize them with the right keywords for your industry so people can find you.
Okay, keywords are key.
And then regularly post updates. Share your wins, big or small, new hires, product milestones, any media coverage you get, post it.
And interacting with others.
Crucial. Don't just broadcast. Engage with content from investors you admire or other leaders in your space. Add thoughtful comments, ask smart questions. Show you're part of the conversation.
Okay, LinkedIn is the professional hub. What about X? Formerly Twitter. It feels much faster, more real time.
It absolutely is. X is like this constant stream, a discovery engine. Investors, tech folks, they're on there discussing trends, spotting new things.
So how do you cut through the noise?
Well, using relevant hashtags is important. Things like hashtag VC, hashtag startup, or whatever specific to your industry that helps people find your posts.
Makes sense.
And it's a great place for sharing those behind-the-scenes moments. Show the journey, the challenges, the breakthroughs. It makes your brand more human, more relatable.
And engaging with investors directly there.
Yes, definitely. Retweeting investor posts with your own valuable insight or replying thoughtfully to their threads that can really get you noticed as someone who, gets it.
Okay. Now, Instagram, for some businesses, especially maybe B2B, it might seem less relevant for investors.
Yeah.
But you said it can be important.
Yeah, especially for visually driven brands. Think consumer products, lifestyle brands. Instagram is where you build that visual story, show off your product, and crucially, show customer love.
Ah, the customer angle.
Exactly. Investors want to see that people actually want and use your product. So feature great customer photos or videos, maybe unboxing clips, user testimonials. It's powerful validation.
And influencer marketing.
If it fits your brand, yes. Partnering with the right influencers, even micro-influencers, can boost credibility and reach. And don't forget, founder stories using Instagram stories or Reels to share your personal journey connects on a different level.
Right, showing the person behind the brand. What about video then, like YouTube or even TikTok? Are investors paying attention there?
Increasingly, yes. Video is just huge, short, punchy demo videos, great. Behind-the-scenes vlogs showing your company culture, also great. Quick product showcases, perfect. It's often a much faster way to get your core message across than text.
So the main takeaway here isn't be everywhere. It's be smart about where you are.
Precisely. Find those one or two platforms where your investors are active and where your brand looks best and focus your efforts there. Consistency and quality on those chosen channels beats being mediocre everywhere else.
Okay, so you've picked your platforms. Now, how do you actually build a brand on social media that speaks to investors? Got to be more than just nice pictures.
Right. Oh, definitely. It's about being really intentional. Investors aren't just looking at your product specs, they're evaluating you, the founder, and the team. Your whole online presence needs to scream credibility, vision, and deep market understanding.
So it's about crafting that perception.
Yeah, shaping both your personal founder persona and the overall brand message online.
Let's dig into the founder persona first. What should founders be doing online to build that trust?
Okay, first, big one. Share real progress, not just hype. Talk about actual milestones, partnerships, user numbers, product updates. Investors see through fluff. They want evidence of execution.
Right. Show, don't just tell.
Exactly. Second, try to build some thought leadership. Share your takes on industry trends, even if it's just a quick insight. Show you're thinking about the bigger picture. Investors notice that.
Makes sense.
And finally, a bit of authenticity, maybe even vulnerability, goes a long way. Talk about lessons learned from mistakes, challenges you overcame. It shows resilience and self-awareness, which investors really value. It's more believable than a perfect, airbrushed image.
Yeah, showing the real journey. What about the company's own pages? How do you refine that messaging for an investor audience?
Clarity is king. Your about sections, your bios, make them super tight and focused. Pack them with relevant keywords investors might search for.
Jargon free.
Please use clear, simple language. Make it obvious what you do and why it matters. And use those visual tools, nice headers, pin posts on X, Instagram highlights to put your biggest wins and key info right up front. Make it easy for a busy investor to get you in 30 seconds.
Okay, platforms chosen, brand being built. How do we show investors that things are actually happening, that there's momentum? You mentioned social proof earlier.
Yes, social proof is huge. In this noisy online world, signs that other people believe in you carry a lot of weight.
So what counts as social proof?
Several things. Press mentions, awards, definitely share links to articles, podcasts, any recognition you get. That's instant credibility. Customer testimonials and reviews are golden. Use quotes, maybe short video clips. If you have numbers like, our users increased engagement by X%, highlight that. It shows product market fit.
What else?
Endorsements from well-known people in your industry or even strategic partners. If someone respected mentions you, amplify it. And, critically, share your own traction metrics. Don't be shy about growth rates, successful launches, waitlist numbers, anything that shows real progress.
You mentioned Neat Burger before as an example. How did they use this?
Yeah, Neatburger did this really well back around 2021. They were constantly using Instagram and LinkedIn to show off new restaurant openings. They highlighted celebrity endorsements, and they shared tons of content from happy customers.
So it created this feeling of momentum.
Exactly. You could just see the buzz and the traction. It became a core part of their story when they were raising money, and it clearly resonated with investors like Lewis Hamilton and SoftBank.
Right, so it's not just about getting lots of followers. It's about showing real engagement, real enthusiasm. How do you actually build that kind of quality audience?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Smart investors look past follower counts. They want to see a community, real interaction.
So how do you attract the right people?
It starts with sharing genuinely valuable content relevant to your industry. Offer insights, comment on news, start discussions. That attracts other founders, experts, and yes, potential investors.
And networking.
Strategic networking online is key. Engage with investor profiles, industry media, other key players. Tag people, celebrate others' wins, be an active participant in your ecosystem.
And getting your users involved.
Huge. Encourage user-generated content. Ask customers to share their experiences, leave reviews, join your campaigns. That organic buzz is incredibly powerful social proof.
And it's not just a one-way street, right? You need to engage back.
Absolutely. Don't just post and run. Ask questions, run polls, actually respond to comments and feedback. Investors like to see founders who are engaged with their community. It signals you're responsive.
Okay, let's talk advanced tactics. For businesses ready to maybe spend a little or get more sophisticated, what else can they do to target investors?
Right. Once your organic foundation is solid, paid social, and other tactics can really amplify things. Targeted ads, for instance, on LinkedIn or Facebook let you zero in on specific investor profiles, job titles, interests, investment focus.
So you can directly reach VCs interested in your sector.
Exactly. And retargeting is powerful too. You can show specific ads or updates to people who've already visited your website or interacted with your content, keeps you top of mind with potentially interested investors.
What about live events?
Good one. Hosting live Q&As, webinars, product demos on LinkedIn Live, or X Spaces that shows transparency and lets you interact directly. Plus, you get great video content out of it that investors can watch later.
And being responsive.
Always. Monitor your channels closely. If someone who looks like an investor comments or asks a question, jump on it quickly and thoughtfully. Show you're paying attention.
You mentioned Calendly earlier, too. How did they leverage this stuff?
Calendly was a masterclass in content. They consistently put out really insightful blog posts, great customer stories, helpful guides. They built this massive engaged audience on LinkedIn and X.
So the content drew people in.
Totally. And that strong organic pull generated a lot of inbound interest, including from investors. It was a big factor in their huge funding round back in 2021. They showed traction, thought leadership, transparency, everything investors wanted to see.
This has been super insightful.
Yeah.
For someone listening who's fired up and maybe feeling a bit, where do I even start? What are the first few actionable steps?
Okay, let's make it simple. Your immediate playbook. First, audit your digital self. Google your company, Google you, what comes up. Check your LinkedIn profile. Is it sharp, updated? Do your feeds show recent wins?
Step 1, self-assessment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Step 2, pick those 1 or 2 priority platforms where your investors likely are. Tidy up your profiles there, banners, bios, pinned posts. Make them clear and investor-friendly.
That focus.
Step 3, set a posting rhythm. Aim for maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Share authentic progress, industry thoughts, engaging stuff. Just be consistent.
Get into a routine.
Step 4, engage. Find and interact with investors, other founders, relevant people. Don't just lurk. Step 5, amplify that social proof. Share press, testimonials, metrics, tag partners, tag happy customers.
Show the wins.
Step 6, maybe test some paid ads, even a small budget. Try targeting investors on LinkedIn or X, see what happens.
Experiment a bit.
And finally, step 7, track, analyze, iterate, look at your engagement, profile views, any inquiries. See what's working, tweak your approach. It's an ongoing process.
Awesome. So wrapping up, the big message is social media isn't just marketing stuff anymore. It's a core tool for building belief, demonstrating value, and ultimately getting funded.
Absolutely. Getting this right can seriously boost your visibility and lead to those game-changing conversations. Remember, investors are looking for traction, growth, a great story, and founders who are, accessible and switched on.
So the challenge to everyone listening is start building that investor magnet online today. And again, if you need help strengthening those profiles to attract the right attention, resources like rapidboost.net are out there.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. consider this, that next like, that next comment, that next connection you make online. It could genuinely be the one that changes everything for your business. So what are you going to do today to make sure you're ready for that opportunity?